Hello, how is everybody today? Great, we're gonna get started standing. So go ahead and join me. And then hello, thank you so much for joining me for Pilates Sculpt, all levels. My name is Audra. Today we're going to use weights and a ball. If you're at home and you don't have weights and a ball, that's okay. You can use wine bottles, you can use water gallon jugs, or you can just squeeze your own beautiful muscles. And if you don't have a ball, you can fold a pillow in half. We're gonna start and just kind of check in with our body a little bit. So find where your feet are and see where your weight is distributed, right? Is your weight distributed just onto your toes? Is it just onto your heels? Or is it a nice delicate balance? If you tend to go mostly on your heels, try to add a little bit more onto your toes and vice versa. And then think about where your knees are, right? Are they bent? Are they hyperextended? Or are they right in line with your ankle? And then hips, right? Are they kind of tucked? Are they forward? Or are they nice and stacked? Check out where your ribs are. You can even move through these ranges a little bit. Check your shoulders, protracted, retracted, or center. And then just see where your ears are. Now nod your chin, hollow out through the front of your body and roll all the way down. And breathe. And then press your feet into the ground, roll it on up, all the way up. Lengthening through your ears. Good. And let's do just a couple more. Good. Letting your back relax and roll up. Last one like this. We're going to hold our last one down. And just bring your hands to wherever you need to, whether it's shins or floor, even quads is fine. And we're just going to shift our weight back a little bit, see how that changes the stretch, and then shift your weight forward a little bit, see how that changes the stretch. So when you slide back, you might feel more hamstring. And as you come forward, you might feel more calf. One more. And then take your hands up and over to one side. See how that changes your stretch. You might feel this in a different part of your hamstring. You might feel this in your back. And then other side. Come back to center. And we're coming all the way down onto our knees. Now, we are going to be hands and knees. But if for any reason being on your hands doesn't feel good, you can use your weights. You can use yoga blocks underneath your elbows. It's up to you. So just find right where your shoulders are above your wrists and shift your weight forward and back a couple times until you find center. Now think about your upper arm bones spiraling out just a little bit. Good, push into the floor. Good. Suze, widen your hands just a tiny bit. Stephanie, also widen your hands just a little bit. Good. And then we're just going to start with little kitty cat paws. Now, if you do need a little bit more stability, hands closer together will help. But if you can have them slide, go for it. And just notice if one side wants to hike or drop or rotate. It's just information. Breathe here. And then if this feels good and you'd like to advance it, you're going to slide the arm forward. And then instead of thinking of lifting the arm, you're going to think about your shoulder blade posteriorly tilting. And the arm just comes along for the ride. So it's shoulder blade. Oh, so I'm going to mostly do one arm. I forgot. I forgot about my vaccine arm. So that was a surprise. That's going to happen a couple times today. I know it is. A couple more. Good. Now go ahead, slide one foot out. And you can either do same side or opposite side. It's up to you. If you're like, I would rather just be on my forearms, and have a stable base of support, that's also great. Whatever you need is perfect. Whatever you need is right for your body, and that's what I would like you to do. Now, if you'd like more excitement in your life, we can add it. We will do same side arm and leg, still trying to keep your hip bones pointed as close to the ground as possible. It's really hard, I know. It's always a surprise at how challenging our same side is. Oh, that's cool. Now, if you're doing same side, we're gonna hold, rotate hips open, rotate hips down, bring it in. Slide, rotate hips open, rotate hips down. If you are on your both hands or both forearms, you can still do this. You just have to not go as far, right? Good. Yeah, yes. Flip your yoga blocks so they're, yeah, so they're just a little bit more stable. Yeah, I promise it'll feel better. Yeah. Yeah. See, now it's just like a lot of work rather than an impossible amount of work. Good. You can always be on your forearms if you need to be. 2 more. Last one. Nice job, you guys. Press yourselves into a little rest position. Rolling out your wrists. Let your back relax. Take your hands up and over to one side. Press your hips away. And then other side. All right, we're going to come on to forearms and knees, but we're going to come into a knee plank on our forearms. So instead of being quadruped, you're going to have to sneak your forearms forward and then curl your tailbone towards your face and then squeeze your glutes forward. So a little knee plank. Good. If this feels good, great. If you'd like to add on, tuck your toes under. Push your feet into the ground, straighten your legs to lift your hips. And then slowly come back into a knee plank if you want, then press and lift. Good. You can also do this on your hands. I just figured most of us wanted a break from our hands. Yeah, a couple more. How are those planks feeling, everybody? So good? Yeah. 3. 2 more. Last one. And hold. Good. For 3, 2, knees down. Go ahead, let your shoulders stretch a little bit. Now you have all the options in the world. You can be on knees and forearms, knees and hands, forearms and feet, or hands and feet. I do recommend if you're on your feet, widen through your feet because we're going to be doing little kitty cat paws. Or here. Or here. Yep. Or here. Yeah. Yeah, good. So since you're already having to add the challenge, just imagine lifting your hand or lifting your arm. You don't actually have to. And that goes for everybody. You can also just think about lifting a hand and then push it down and then think about it. And your nervous system still responds as if you're doing it. Yeah. 2. Last one. Knees down. Press yourselves into your little rest position. All right, you guys, how's everyone feeling? Great. Good. We're going to come all the way to standing. Rolling all the way up. Whew. All right. I need that shirt. We're going to squeeze your inner thighs together like you're trying to pop a balloon. Think about your glutes kicking on. Just lift one foot, see where your balance is today. Yeah. Now, all of you are on one of the squishy mats, except for Nance, that's fine. That's great. If it becomes a little too much with your foot, come onto the floor. I'm in shoes, so I've got a more stable base of support, right? And then the other side, we're just seeing where we are today. One side might be much, much easier than the other, right? That's okay. Good. Nice job. All right. Back to the first side. We're going to bring our hand to our leg. We're going to push down into the leg, push up into the hand. Yeah. A little extra excitement. And then if you can, keep trying to push into the hand, bring your foot across a little bit and back. Now, if for any reason it doesn't feel okay to be an internal rotation, only do the external. Otherwise, we're going to then the foot out to the side a little. Last one. Bring it down. Other side. Press down into the feet. Lift. Oh. You guys stick with the same side arm. I'm going to do opposite. Yeah. Okay. And then if it feels good, you can bring it across. Good. Nancy, bring your knee up higher. Yeah. Good. Trying to get just a little bit of rotation with that flexion. Good. Last one. How does that change your balance? Yeah, and bring it down. We're going to step back with one foot and tuck your tailbone under. Good. Squeeze your glute. Maybe get a little stretch through the front of that back leg, yeah? Now, if it feels appropriate, you can rotate just your hips a little. Yeah, and then you can rotate just your hips a little. Only going into a range that feels good. Good. So you're just getting a stretch through some different places, yeah? Good. Last one. Good. Another side. So take it back, tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes, and just hold. If you can, bring your back foot forward. So if it's pointed out, it's gonna get different muscles. Yeah. Nancy, spiral your right heel to the right. Yep, there you go. And then you can rotate. Good. And rotate. Couple more. Good. And two. Good. Last one. Nice work, everybody. Bring your feet together. And we're going to sink it down into a little athletic stance. Making sure that ankles, knees, and hips all move in one piece. Now wrap your hands so they're touching your back. And as you're here, I want you to breathe into your hands for me. And then exhale from the front. And then breathe into your hands again. Inflating your tissue of your spine will help stabilize your back without effort, okay? So if at any point you start feeling over gripping through your back, take a second and breathe into it. The other thing you can do is send your hips back a little bit more, okay? Making sure your knees are in line with your second or third toe for this. Slide a foot out. Now you can do whatever you need to with your hands and fold that knee in, slide it out. If you have the prayer position here, try to press more into your pinky fingers than your thumbs, okay? Good. If you've ever worked on the reformer, this is similar to scooter, except we don't have the spring with the bounce back. So now as we do this, I want you to pretend that you're pushing that moving leg into something to push it away, like dragging it through wet sand. Good. Back doing okay? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. If you need, feel free to do a roll down and then come back. Yeah. So if it starts like trying to help too much. 2 more. Good. Angel, relax your shoulders. Thank you. Last one. We're going to hold it out. Now, we're going to tip. We're going to tip our body forward and then tip our body up. So if we keep that pelvis and leg in the same alignment, the leg will come along for the ride. If it's too much to have the leg come along for the ride, that's okay. You can keep it behind you. If that's still too much, you can always bend it, okay? It is a hip hinge, but with the leg extended, right? It's just changing your lever a little bit. So your ears and toes are like a dowel, right? Couple more. How's that standing glute feeling? So good? Good. Good. 2 more. Last one. Good. Now, you have so many options, you guys. Join me. You can take your hips off of that thigh and then bring it onto the thigh. Or you can do this with that toe down. Or if it doesn't feel okay to go into internal rotation, only go off the thigh. Yeah. Try tapping the toe down and rotate toward, yep, boom. Yeah. Good. Now, this is what I get for eating nuts right before coming to class. I swear the skin is just hanging out, waiting to choke me as I talk. If you need a little bit of support, feel free to come to the wall and push into the wall, right? That gives just enough support. Yeah. Good. Come off of the mat, come onto the floor. Yeah, does that feel a little better or still weird? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And just, you can let your heel come up, yeah. Last one. And come on up. You guys ready for a little figure 4 stretch? Sorry, I only heard part of that. I would say come off of the mat. Also grab one of the little towels. Yeah, slide it, just the corner of it, underneath the arch of your foot, and use that, like try to use that to like suction cup in your arch. Yeah. Yep, just like that. If like a little less though. So yep, yeah. Yeah. And then keep your back toe down if you need to. Yeah, perfect. Okay, you guys ready? Other side. I'll take that as a yes. Okay, let's do it. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Sink it down. And just start tapping it out, bringing it in. And then, good. Or you can think about pushing something away. Yeah. Good. And then also glance at your knee, right? So if our foot is out and our knee is forward, that's actually putting some torque on our knee. Same with if it's this way. So we're trying to use our glute and our arch to keep our knee and toe in alignment, which is a lot to think about. So you don't have to think about it all the time, just occasionally check in with one and then occasionally check in with the other. Good. Nice. Couple more. Yeah. 3, 2. Okay, when you're ready, we hold it out. And one long line from our ears to our feet, hip hinge, and then bring it up. Yeah. So if it's a lot, come off of the mat. If it's still a lot, touch a wall, touch a stable surface. Wiggle your fingers, right? Spirit fingers or jazz hands can help your body know they're safe. Good. Now, also pay attention to your toes. The more you start to grip through your toes, the harder it's going to be. So try to spread your toes wide. Good. The wider you can get your feet, the more stable your base of support, which is one reason those crushy, pointy shoes are terrible, right? No matter how cute they look while they're on, they're terrible. Last 2. Last one. And then we can rotate off and down. Or tap that toe, rotate, yeah. So let the knee bend a little, yeah. Good. Yep. So bring the towel over here so you can just tap the wall. Yeah, I think it'll help. Because you don't even have to put your whole hand on, just like one finger. I guarantee it'll be, yeah. Bend your knee a little, yeah. Good, yeah. Boom, so much easier, yeah? Yeah. 2 more. Good, hip bones are moving. Good save, your foot doing okay, Stephanie? And come on up. All right, little, yeah. Nice job, you guys. How are those feeling? Yeah. How did it feel with the cushion under your foot? A little bit easier? Yeah. Boom. All right, you guys go ahead, come on up. We're gonna bring our feet about in alignment with our hip bones. Now, does anybody have Achilles tendonitis? Okay, great. Just if you have, make sure that you're not putting a lot of pressure on the heel. That's all. We're gonna tuck our tailbone slightly, let our knees come forward. And then glance at our knees, right? So if our knees came together or our feet snuck out, we're gonna try again. So when you do this, when your knees come forward, I don't want your arches to collapse, but if your feet can relax down, it will give you more ankle mobility, okay? And I know it's a weird position to be like, ow, right? But we are trying to get a little bit of soleus stretch, right? Good. Last one. I know it's weird to tuck your tailbone under. It's like if we were gonna fully do a sissy squat, which are real hard, and we're gonna hold. Keep your knees about where they are, and then all we're gonna do is slide our hips back. Yeah. And then push into your feet to lift back up. And we tuck to come down, untuck, push. Good. And this is also, once again, it's to see if we have ankle limitations and how our knees respond to that, right? So if our ankles are tight, our body's going to try to find a way around it. So it's an awareness thing as well as kind of a stretch. Last one, hold this one down. Push into the floor, lift up 1/2 inch. Now, weight even, yeah. Weight evenly distributed between heels and toes. Sink it down 1 inch. Lift up 1/2 inch. Sink it down 1/2 inch. Pressing into the toes as well as the heels. Think of the arches lifting just a little bit as well, but not so much that the big toe mound comes up. I know. Good. 2 more. Yeah. Last one. Nice job. Yeah. Bring your feet a little closer together. Sink it down. Inhale. Exhale. Sneak one foot and see what your knee did, right? Did it go like, woo? Sorry if it did. We're going to come up. Now, let's use our breath more. If the knee really wobbled and your foot wobbled, come off of the mat. No problem. Sink it down. Inhale. Exhale, sweep that foot. Hold. 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 Press and lift. Step it down. Sink. Find your position. Sweep and hold. 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 Glorious. How are those feeling? So good. If for any reason this is way too much, hey, guess what? You don't have to do it. You can just lift the heel. You can imagine you're lifting the foot, right? I'm imagining it because it still takes more weight onto that other foot. And we are eccentrically using both. Then we are isometrically stabilizing and then concentrically lifting up. Suze, next time, untuck your tailbone this much. Yes. Yes. Guess what? Other side. It's going to feel so good. Maybe this is going to be your better side. Maybe it's going to be your more exciting side. In which case, that's also really cool, right? You guys are like, I guess. Yes. That's also fair. Good. Now, if one side, you're like, yeah, I feel everything, I'm doing good. The other side, you're like, huh, this feels different. It probably is different, right? So see maybe what your body's doing a little differently, right? So if you have restricted ankle mobility, maybe as soon as you come down, your weight inadvertently shifts, right? In which case, I would say, keep the toe tap down. Maybe your glute on one side is a little like sleepy, so the TFL tries to take over, right? In which case there might be a big weight shift, which no big deal. Slowly peel the foot up, right? 2 more. Yeah. Last one, last one. Gorgeous. Big wide stance. How'd those feel? Pretty good? Great. We're going to sink it onto one side. Just see where you go. See what this leg wants to do. Trying not to only lean, we're bending at the hip. Yeah, so if we lean forward a lot with our torso here, it's not a big deal. You'll just get a different stretch. So see what feels better for you, right? Maybe upright is a little easier, maybe down low is a little easier. Yeah. And see if you can start letting yourself go just a tiny bit lower if it feels okay. Good. Little side to side. Now, maybe you stay in this big stance. Maybe you narrow your stance. we're going to bring it up, hold. Take it out, slowly sink down. Press up, hold, same side. Yeah. Good. Now, if your balance is kind of like, bring it up, tap, lift, then tap and stop. 2 more. Good. Last 1. Nice job. We're going to shift our weight over. Press into the floor. Bring it up and hold. First one never counts, right? Then down. Bring it up. Good. Yeah, much more stable in that foot. Good. 2 more. Last one. Pushing that floor away and hold. Nice job, bring your feet together. We're gonna sink into our athletic position. Slide a foot out. Good, now, notice how I'm trying to be in one long line from my ears to my toes. I'm gonna keep that from the knee as I bend and then forward. Now maybe you're like, I would like a little support. In which case, fine. You can have your hand on your thigh. Hoping to use quad, hamstring, glute, a little inner thigh, right? Most of your weight on your front foot. If this does not feel okay, don't go into a range that doesn't. We have 2 more. If you're missing big toe mound extension for any reason, it's going to be a little trickier. So you can stick with these instead. Yeah. 2. Last one. Bring it up. Other side. Nice job, you guys. Come into your athletic stance. I feel it too. Slide it out. And then try to bend the knee and straighten. Good. Good. Nice job, you guys. Now notice how being in this angle helps you access back here a tiny bit more than being fully upright, right? This is not bad, it's just different. 3. 2 more. Last 1. Bring it in. We're coming to our knees. If you need to roll down to get there, that's fine. Good. Now, when you're here, check it out, right? Are your hip bones pointing down? Is there a crease? Bring a foot forward. Let's go ahead, tuck our tailbone a little bit. Think about this front foot just dragging us forward a little and then pressing back. We're just getting a little quad and possibly hip flexor stretch. 2 more. Doesn't have to be big. It's just a gentle active stretch. We are going to hold this last one. Hold. Keep squeezing. Yep. Now, if it feels appropriate, and only if it feels appropriate, same side arm as back leg comes down. I'm going to rotate towards that front leg and let that hip sink down a little. Couple breaths. Come back, press up, other side. So a little tuck, sink forward. One side might be more exciting than the other. Oh, side's already exciting. I haven't even moved. Now, if your hips are like, oh, hey, what's up? That could indicate that maybe your quad or hip flexor are a little tight, or maybe your low back just likes to help a little bit. See if you can find kind of a closure of the front of your ribs. Yeah. Couple more. Good. It's feeling a little exciting potentially. Yeah. Now, if it works for you, take that hand down, still squeeze that glute. We're gonna rotate. And come back, rotate. Good. And we're gonna hold this last one. Hold. Good. Come back. Now bring your knees down and hopefully it's an easier upright position, yeah? Great. Slide one foot forward, bring it down. Now, see if you can do this without your back doing the work, right? So we want to keep closing the ribs. Exhale, float that leg up, bring it in. Other side. Yeah. Now, if you'd like a little support and challenge, try to push into the knee. Right? And just notice what your body's strategy is. So for example, on one side, I want to internally rotate. And then on the other side, I want to lean and not, right? So just notice what your body's strategy is. And then see if you can, if there's a side that wants to internally rotate, see if you can get it just a little bit more neutral. And if there's a side that really wants to lean, see if you can use that press into the floor and find that glute and those obliques, yeah? Good. Your hip doing okay? Okay. If it stops, take a break. You don't have to keep going. Good. Good. Last one. Each side. Hold this last one. Tuck your toe under if you can. We're going to press up. We're going to balance. And bring it down. Switch sides. Now, if that is not working for your body, you have options. You can instead come up however you need to, and then just hold, right? And then you can come down. No problem. Right? If you need to, you could even keep your hand down. No problem. Or if you're like, you know what I really want to work on? Single leg. You can also do single leg, right? Since most of our weight is already trying to be on that front side, you can always try it, okay? You have options. One more each side. Good. Last one. Come all the way down. Nice job, grab your weights. Now, we're gonna be doing some of this stuff in a quadruped. However, in a quadruped, gravity has more of a pull on us, right? So if you're like, man, quadruped is just too challenging for me today, be more upright. And in fact, we can all practice one together. So sit on your haunches if you can. If it's not appropriate, just come onto your knees. So shoulder blades melt. And then the bottom tips of your shoulders just gently want to like point at a V shape. Elbows press down, just go back until your hands are about in line with your ribs. Gorgeous. Widen through your collarbones. Yeah, that's where we're gonna go. Everybody feel their mid back a little bit? Great. And then we can do it again. Now, if you want, you can be here. Same thing, we still need to set our shoulder blades. Or you can be here. Or you can do one at a time if you're in a full quadruped. You can also sit on your foam roller or one of the blocks in this kind of position, no problem. It's, yeah, good. And with this, I would say try one arm at a time so you don't have to worry about, yeah, good. Does that feel better? Good. Good, Suze. Think about your collarbone widening a little bit. Yeah, that was wonderful. Does it feel good? Good. Lovely. Give me just a couple more. And two. Last one each side. Good. We're going to lie down on our back. We're going to do some skull crusher tricep, unless you're like, I hate that, in which case you can take your arms overhead and do it. I just can't get my arm overhead today. So if you lie down on your back, arm bones relax down, straighten your arms. Now, if you have shoulder instability at all, feel free to bring your hands together. Just know your face will be in the way of your hands, so you really, really have to control it down. So 4 counts on the way down. Then squeeze your triceps and then squeeze, hold, hold. And then slowly lower. Try to keep your elbows basically pointed the same way. And then squeeze, hold, hold. Good, you guys. How's that feeling? Good. Anybody not feeling their triceps at least a little bit? Great. Slowing it down with the back of your arm, squeezing the back of your arm, and then continuing to squeeze, right? That tricep is what straightens our elbow. Good. Couple more. Two. Last one. Good. Now, if that feels great and you'd like to advance it, we're actually going to do one arm at a time. It doesn't seem like it would be more challenging, but it is for our nervous system, okay? Couple more. Beautiful, everybody. Try to make sure your wrists are nice and strong so there's not extra pressure on them. 2 more. You can always do this without weight if you need to. How does the arm switching feel? Awesome? More exciting? Yeah. One more each side. Now, take your elbows kind of out to an A-frame position. So it's not a T, and it's not in at your ribs. It's just kind of out to the side. Now, making sure that the shoulder blade and shoulder itself isn't really coming off the ground very much. It's wide. And then we're going to press up and then reach up through our pinky fingers so we get a little serratus. Then let the shoulder blades relax, slowly drag it down. So once you're down though, without letting the shoulders come up, press your elbows into the floor to squeeze your mid back just a little bit. Keep your ribs connected so it's less erector and more low traps. And then press, reach with that pinky finger. Slowly come down. And then push your elbows into the ground from your back. And then press. Good. Reaching your fingertips up more, Nancy? Yeah, and then arm bones down more. Yep, down. Yep, there you go. Then bend your elbows. Yeah, good. 2 more. Last one. Nice job, you guys. Set those weights to the side. And I want you to actually like flick your fingers as if you had water on them and somebody said something, you wanted to flick water on them. Boop, boop, boop. So we're working those extensors a little bit. Good. Now, if you have your prop near you, we're going to take it, we're going to pop it in between our knees. So if you have a ball, great. If you're at home and you only have a pillow, fold it in half, it's perfect. Interlace your hands behind your head and then spiral your elbows forward into your periphery. Shoulder blades melt down your back. Ha. And we're going to exhale, curl forward by sinking the ribs down, looking towards your prop. Now, check out your low abs. If they kind of domed, that's no problem. It just means your rectus abdominis is maybe doing a little bit more work. So on your next one, think about the fronts of your abs sinking down just a little bit before you move. And see if it allows that slightly flatter, deeper muscle. You could also imagine just curling up and over a beach ball. 2 more. And we get to hold this last one. Are you guys so excited? Good. Hold. Hands come forward. Push into an imaginary surface. Hands come back behind your head. Now, if your feet are pretty far out, bring them a little closer. Lift your heels. Squeeze the ball. Inhale. Exhale, float your legs to your tabletop. If you need to bring your toes together, that's okay. Now, maintaining this height of your chest, let your knees go away from your face a little, tap your toes down, squeeze the prop, bring it back. Good. Now, if you need to, could you put your head down? Yes, yes, the answer is always yes, right? You can always be here. That's all right. It's a little bit more challenging on your transverse abdominis, but it's not as challenging on your rectus abdominis. So you might feel this a little differently, or you might not quite feel it as much, but it is in some ways much harder to stabilize, right? So you really have to focus on your breath. Couple more. Now, on your next exhale, as those knees lift, you're going to rotate to one side. And then come back to center as the knees go away. Exhale, other side. If your head is down, you're just going to take your opposite, or your hand, take it to your opposite knee. Use that serratus oblique connection. And then serratus oblique connection. Okay. Trying not to side bend, but rotate. Yeah, and then come back through center. Yeah, there you go. Taking breaks if you need to is great. Last set. How you guys feeling? Great. Good. And then hug your knees towards your chest. Nice job. All right. Take that prop, set it to the side. Now, we're going to actually bring your feet down to start this one. Head down. We're just going to find our belly button without using your glutes or your shoulders. We're going to sink the lower abs down so much that the low back melts to the ground. Imprint your spine, and then back to center. And then imprint your spine, back to center. Now you can float one leg to tabletop. Try not to pull the knee in to get you there, but exact same thing, just imprint, center. The knee will have to move with your hips, but it's just not initiating. Keep your head down, Nancy. Yeah. One more. Switch legs. Don't worry, we're building to something. We'll find some more exciting work here in a second. Good. Everybody feel how, if you think about the belly button sinking down and the hip and rib coming together to get that position. It's not a ton of hip flexor. Great. Now bring both legs together. Squeeze your inner thighs together as if you're trying to pop a balloon. Same thing. Exhale. And bring it back. Notice now how your hips are probably curling off the mat a little bit. And if you want a little bit more curl, you can even press your arms down. Good. 2 more. And then if you'd like more excitement, bring your hands behind your head, curl forward, and we try to get the knees to the elbows, hold, and then back. Yeah. Now, if you're excited about this, you can push your feet away from you and then bring them in and curl. If you're like, well, I'm sort of excited about that, but straightening my legs is not where I am today. Hey, guess what? You can just push them away a little bit. 3 more. Two. How are your abs feeling, you guys? Great. Last one. Push your feet away, bring your hands forward, and we inhale, exhale. Now, maybe this is where you are. Maybe this is where you are. Maybe you're somewhere in between. So you could bring both legs up. You could have your head up. Yeah, you could have your feet down, head up. Whatever you need. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Last set. Feet down, head down. Good. All right. Allow those arms to come overhead. And then curl forward, roll. Okay. Yeah. Now we're going to do some roll-ups. If you have a prop you need, no problem. Think about your deep abdominals coming in and up, rolling behind your tailbone, slowly lowering down. And if you go, oh, I'm stuck, guess what? That's okay. Maybe try taking a knee behind your thigh and using that. Yeah, that was great. If you look at your toes instead of the sky, it's going to help you. Yeah, yeah. Now that goes for everybody. If we look forward where we're trying to go, our eyes are going to lead us. Yeah, see how much easier that was? Yeah. Good. Couple more. Beautiful. Now, if these feel good and you'd like a little bit more excitement, we can always add on. In which case I would say slide a foot in, knee comes towards you. And then it extends. And then slide it in, other side. Yeah. If you're like, no, thank you, that's fine. If you're like, well, I kind of want to do that, but my roll-ups are feeling good as they are. Great, come up, and then you have an option at the end, right? Yeah. Couple more. Good, good. Now, if these feel good and you'd like more excitement, both knees. But if you start pulling through your back, stick with one leg at a time, or think of sliding your heels in before you lift. Good. We have 2 more. Good. Last one. Knees apart, feet together. Relax over your legs. How did those feel? So good? Great. We're going to come on to hip and forearm. Yeah. Hey, guess what? If you're like, I don't love being on my forearm for a side plank, you can always be on your hand. If your palm is down, it's not inherently bad. But if you like to internally rotate through your shoulder, I recommend maybe trying palm up so your shoulder can just find a little bit more of a neutral position. Yeah. Now push your elbow into the ground to lift your ribs. Press your knees into the ground to lift your hips. Yeah, and hold. Now lift that top leg and down and again. Now if you want the foot extended, you can extend it. If you're on your hand, make sure you're not in slumber party shoulder, right? It's just a little bit different position, right? Good. 2 more. Last one. Bend the knee in, extend the leg out. Good. Reach. Good. How's that bottom side feeling? Right? Yeah. 3, 2, last 1. Bring it down. Other side. So maybe you come through center, maybe you don't, right? Making sure you're trying to open your collarbones, pressing everything down in order to lift, and we lift the leg. Now, if you're on your hand, once again, that's fine. We just don't want to be here. We want to push the floor away to lift us up. You can be here or here. The hand just has you at a slightly different position. No problem. It's up to you guys. You can also always bring that hip down if you need. No problem. We have 4, 3, 2. Last 1. Bend the knee in, push the foot up. Bend it in, drive it out. 5, 4, yeah, 3. Almost there. Last one, last one. We're gonna come all the way to standing, however you need to. Right, so if you can come through a downward dog, great. If you need a different way to get up, also great. And go ahead and walk your hands toward your feet toward your hands. We're gonna dangle for a second. Shift your weight forward and back a couple times. Take your hands up and over to one side. Oh, is this similar to the beginning? Yes. Does it feel different? Probably. Then other side. Come through center, and we're going to end with just a little bit of balance work. You guys excited? Yes. Okay. So come to the top of your mat. Yeah. Good. And you're going to slowly, if it doesn't feel all right for you, just walk forward. We're going to slowly walk back. Yeah. Good. Then walk forward. You guys are like, why am I scared? I don't know. Why are you scared, you guys? It's fair. Now, if that felt easy and good, take your head from side to side. Bum, 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 bum. Now, if that feels good and easy, close your eyes. Good. Yeah, and again. If you're in between eyes being closed and head moving, maybe try one eye closed with your head moving. Yeah, and once you make it to the top, we're going to slowly walk backward, eyes open, look up and down. Then forward. Does that change the way it feels? It does for me. Yeah, and yeah, and maybe we close our eyes and try it. Yeah, yeah. You guys are not alone if you're like a little wobbly with it. Last one. and back. Good. Now feet together, we're actually going to be on a little tightrope. Yeah. And then just lift a foot, hover, tiny little hover. Yeah. Nice job. See how much easier this is than it normally would be? Because you just challenged your vestibular and your ocular systems. Let's do that other side. So a little tightrope. If it doesn't feel okay to hover it, you can just heel. All right. Good. You guys are like, this is no sweat. I know, it's amazing. Yeah, good. Feet together, flip your palms up, open your collarbones, and then slide your shoulders to your ears, drop them straight down. Give yourselves a round of applause. Awesome work today.